In the first 33 chapters of his prophetic record, Isaiah focuses strictly on regional geopolitical threats, like the empire of Assyria. But here, at the close of his first great collection, the historical horizon expands. We enter a transition period where the prophet looks past immediate conflicts to a wider global sequence of judgment. To understand the mechanics of this judgment, we have to look directly at the primary historical and prophetic dataset, the text itself. We begin with the opening verse of Isaiah chapter 34. "Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world and all things that come forth of it." This is a universal summons to all creation. The decree is not limited to the local kingdom of Judah. It encompasses the whole world. The prophet structures this section exactly as he opened his entire book in chapter 1, verse 2, calling the heavens and the earth to listen. We see this exact structural command repeated in modern times with the beginning of the Second Restoration, where Doctrine and Covenants section 1 opens by commanding all people from afar to hearken to the voice of the Lord. Before Isaiah diagnoses the specific collapse of historical empires, he ensures the reader understands the scale. He establishes a cosmic, universal jurisdiction for the subsequent judgments. To grasp the severity of this decree, we need to examine the immediate military reality of Isaiah's era. The text provides a gruesome, literal description of military defeat in chapter 34, verses 2 and 3. "For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them. Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood." This imagery is grounded in verified historical events. In 701 BC, the Assyrian army besieged Jerusalem. The immediate fulfillment of Isaiah's words left 185,000 Assyrian soldiers dead in the field, their bodies left rotting in the mountains around the city. We see this identical pattern centuries later. During the Roman siege of Jerusalem in 70 AD, the historian Josephus recorded that the fire of burning houses was literally quenched by the blood of the slain. John describes this same overflowing scene in Revelation 14:20, where blood comes out of the winepress even unto the horse bridles. The physical slaughter of the Assyrians establishes a repeating prophetic template. Any hostile nation or empire that subsequently attacks Zion faces this exact anatomical collapse. Following this description of battlefield carnage, the text makes a sudden shift. The imagery turns intensely apocalyptic, requiring us to read it through the lens of ancient Near Eastern political frameworks. We see this shift clearly in chapter 34, verse 4. "And all the host of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their host shall fall down, as the leaf falleth off from the vine." This diagram outlines the lexicon of the prophet. The host of heaven does not refer to spiritual angels. The sun, moon, and stars act as a specific prophetic cipher, representing earthly kings, empires, and states. Their dissolution is the end of a government. We find this same blackout of the political heavens applied to other regimes. In Isaiah 13, the exact same celestial collapse describes the fall of Babylon to the Medes. This pattern tracks perfectly forward to the year of the 4 emperors in Rome in 69 AD. A brutal civil war saw the rapid assassination and succession of rulers, ultimately installing Vespasian, and leading directly to the total collapse of the Jewish national government in 70 AD. When prophets speak of the sky falling and the heavens rolling up, they are not predicting astronomical anomalies. They are providing a precise, literal description of government collapse and violent regime change. Having mapped the macro collapse of entire empires, the text now narrows its focus to a micro-target of immediate divine judgment. This localized judgment is decreed in verses 5 and 6. "For my sword shall be bathed in heaven, behold, it shall come down upon Idumea. For the Lord hath a sacrifice in Bozrah, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea." Here we see the land of Edom, or Idumea. The descendants of Esau serve as the archetypal enemy. They earned this judgment through their historical complicity, actively taking part in the plunder of Jerusalem and the slaughter of the Jews alongside the Babylonians in 586 BC. The sentence for this betrayal spans verses 8 through 10. For it is the day of the Lord's vengeance. From generation to generation it shall lie waste. None shall pass through it forever. History tracks their punishment exactly. Conquered and forcibly incorporated into the Jewish nation by John Hyrcanus around 125 BC, the Edomites met their definitive end decades later. Just before the Roman siege of Jerusalem in 70 AD, 20,000 Idumeans entered the city to fight on behalf of the Zealots. They were completely decimated in the conflict. Following the slaughter of 70 AD, the Idumean people permanently vanish from all written history. The prophecy is validated. The decree of total desolation was executed perfectly. The prophet also details the physical aftermath of God's judgment on the region's infrastructure. We read this in chapter 34, verses 11 and 15. But the cormorant and the bittern shall possess it, the owl also and the raven shall dwell in it, and he shall stretch out upon it the line of confusion. There shall the great owl make her nest. This is a striking architectural metaphor. The line and stones refer to a builder's plumb line, an instrument of strict mathematical construction. Here, God uses it to accurately measure out destruction and emptiness, surveying the land for ruin. With the human monarchy dismantled, the high electoral dignity of Edom is replaced entirely by a court of wild animals. The text explicitly states that jackals, owls, and goats now claim the empty palaces. God's justice is not chaotic, it is geometrically precise, systematically dismantling a rebellious society and returning its carefully built infrastructure back to the wilderness. Isaiah concludes this section with a direct challenge to all future generations of readers regarding the validity of his words. This instruction is found in verses 16 and 17. Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. No one of these shall fail. And he hath cast the lot for them, they shall possess it forever. Isaiah explicitly intended his writings to be cross-referenced against future historical events. He forces the reader to inspect the data and verify that not a single detail of his prophecy failed to materialize. The text notes that the land of Idumea was divided to the animals by lot and line. This deliberately mirrors the meticulous way the land of Canaan was once surveyed and divided among the Israelites. The territory is legally and permanently reassigned. The enduring disappearance of Idumea from human civilization validates the geometric precision of the biblical text. The nation's total absence from the historical record is the hard evidence. Isaiah 34 is an empirically validated historical roadmap. The text proves that the eschatological judgment of hostile nations is an absolute certainty, recorded in advance. This concludes our detailed overview of the geometry of desolation found in Isaiah chapter